Hello, everyone. I'm Mercy Jatto. I'm an ENT surgeon and a clinical researcher at the University College Hospital Ibadan in Nigeria. I would like to share a bit of my work with you on Now Listen.
Hi, Dr. Jatto. Thanks for being
Hello.
here. So you have a study funded by Cures Within Reach, which is repurposing povidone iodine for the treatment of chronic suppurative otitis media. So let me just translate this for some of our viewers first. Povidone iodine is a common, readily available antiseptic that is used in many countries around the world, also used in the US, although I would say that the brand name is maybe typically betadine, and in terms of household usage, we're maybe more acclimated to using something like hydrogen peroxide instead, but still similar applications in many cases. And then chronic suppurative otitis media, or CSOM, is a chronic ear infection that is, I believe, and correct me if I'm wrong, but when it's left untreated and it's still unresolved for several months, so 12 weeks or more. And there's also a perforated eardrum and fluid that's draining. So
Nice.
bad ear infection. Why is this research so important?
I work in a developing country in Nigeria, where ear discharge is seen more like a nuisance, not a problem. And oftentimes people use all manners of remedies. We've heard of, like in the study presently, when I publish, you will see some of the things people use, things like cigarette butts, stuff it in the ear as a cure for chronic ear discharge, things like chew up a cockroach and spit in the ear of your child as a cure for ear discharge and things like that. And when you take history from them, it's been for years and years. And you ask, why are you coming now? Why did it take you so long? The major reason, apart from the cultural attitude, or should I say general health attitude towards healthcare in my country, it's finance. The available or conventional treatment for chronic suppurative otitis media, as it were, is expensive to individuals in my country. And so I thought of, what if there was a cheaper solution that was equally effective for these children? What if this solution could be something that they don't even have to come to the hospital necessarily for? If this treatment can even be administered by the parents if they are taught, and if it's readily available in society, I think this would be a better solution to the problem of chronic suppurative otitis media, because we must understand that the burden to the society is much more than just a discharging ear. It comes with possible hearing loss to the patient. It comes with possible other morbidities and even mortality to quite a number of patients. And all this can be avoidable if the treatment can be available and affordable. And so that informs the research, chronic suppurative otitis media. Povidone is something that is commonly utilized in Nigeria. Growing up, we all had the experience of iodine on our wounds. So I figured this is readily available. And then I looked at the efficacy. How effective is it against the organisms that we know cause chronic suppurative otitis media? Quite effective against them. And there's no record documented history of resistance to this available antiseptic solution. And the safety to the ear at certain concentration is quite good. So we decided to put it to test. And that's what we're doing now. That's the reason.
That's wonderful. I grew up in Europe, and in France, I remember kids at school coming out of the nurse's office and they'd have their arms stained slightly red or orange. It's the iodine. Yes. So just to add a little more context, in children under 15 years of age, 60% of hearing loss is actually attributable to preventable causes. And then when we're looking at low to middle income countries, this figure is even higher, and it's up to 75%. And then my understanding is that of these preventable causes, and even overall, untreated chronic ear infections and otitis media is the leading cause of hearing loss in children. So, like you're saying, it is so critical to find inexpensive, accessible, and effective solutions to treat ear infections if we're going to jointly work together to create a world where all may hear. I'd love to hear more about your study design. So tell us about the hypothesis, the 3 arms of your study, and also the timeline for completing your study.
The study is in 3 arms. Conventionally in Nigeria, what we use for treatment of chronic suppurative otitis media or discharging ear in general, we use antibiotic ear drops. Most commonly, the one we use is quinolone, ciprofloxacin, and we also use antibiotics. Most common one we use oral antibiotics, that is. We use like a combination of amoxicillin, clavulanic acid for most of the time. And so I wanted to try those. Let's put it to the test. Let's compare it to a patient that uses either povidone in combination with oral antibiotics, povidone alone with a placebo, and then the third group is the conventional treatment, augmentin or coamoxiclav, as it were, with quinolone ear drops. And so those were the 3 arms we're testing for the study. So far, it's been interesting, the findings we've had. I'm not going to say too much on the results, but povidone, it's holding its own. It's not doing badly at all as compared to the other medication. We've had some challenges in the research, very interesting challenges. Most of it, we've been able to overcome most of the challenges, but the thing is that it's pushing our timeline back a bit. The research was supposed to run for 1 year. We've had some challenges in the country, which has affected the research. We've had challenges with movement, transportation, which I believe it's getting better now. We had challenges we just finished our election cycle. It's a whole ball game. You don't want to know. So we've had some challenges that have had to put us back a bit. We're a little late on our timeline. I think we will need a few more months to tidy up things, and then we'll be good.
How is recruiting the 400 children that you need for the trial going?
Getting the number, considering that the hospital where I work in is a teaching hospital, it's a referral center for the southwest region of Nigeria. So we do get quite a number of patients. But again, there's a general problem in the country, which I've highlighted before. Patients tend not to present on time. So we had to do a lot of awareness, community awareness, put the word out there, come, the treatment is free. We will check your ears, we will provide transportation, or things like that to get patients to come. And the turnout has been good. We've had a bit of challenges with follow-up because quite a number of them, after treatment, there's significant improvement and they don't want to come back. Okay, so that's a bit of a problem, a bit of a challenge too. But then we have our ways of getting them to come and encouraging patients to come, just so we can document the outcomes at the right time. So, but to recruit 390 patients, my dear, it's not bananas. It's interesting. But I'm glad we had to recruit that much. I think it gives our study more strength, and it's been a learning journey. It's been interesting.
That's a lot.
It's a lot.
But you have, fortunately, a study team to support you. You mentioned the importance of raising awareness within the community and some of the educational pieces that were necessary to get the patients to present and return for follow-up. How is your team able to support this study?
I'm very grateful for the team I have. Very wonderful team. First, the hospital itself, the teaching hospital, is very much encouraged with regards to the study. So from the legal department of the hospital to the accounting department to the audiology unit in my which is domiciled in the ENT department, all hands are on deck. My fellow collaborators, I have a great microbiologist. Her name is Dr. Makanjuola. On the ENT side, I have quite a number of my senior colleagues. Professor Fasunla is ENT surgeon. Dr. Adeyemo is another ENT surgeon, special interest in pediatrics, ENT. Dr. Ogunkeyede is another collaborator, fellow researcher, is also an ENT surgeon. And one of our major mentors in the department is a professor of ENT, Professor George Njoku. You know, I have this great team around me. And then the audiologist, we have 3 audiologists presently in the unit. We also have nurses, wonderful ENT nurses. I've had a great team, I must say. I have research assistants. We always brainstorming, how do we get this thing done? How do we get patients here? Also, I would also like to say, part of my research team, my support at home, my support behind, is my husband, Dr. Jamil Jatto. He's my rock. He keeps me up at night when I want to go to sleep. He reminds me, you have to do this, you have to do that. So supportive. He's great. And of course, my children, they're part of my motivation. They push me on in so many ways because I want them to have a mother that made a difference, you know, someone they can be proud of.
That's wonderful. And so you mentioned that povidone iodine is holding its own. I'm not sure if you're
yes, it is.
To share any other preliminary results, but if so, we'd love to hear a little bit about that too.
Well, I can say this much. None of the treatments is 100% for any of the treatment, any of the 3 treatment arms. But as the treatment of CSOM goes, chronic suppurative otitis media, all I can say, the results are looking pretty good. That much I can say.
Thanks.
Great.
Thank you for watching our video. You can support research like that of Dr. Jatto's, as well as other programs run by the House Institute Foundation in Education and Global Health by following us on social media and, more importantly, going to hifla.org/donate to give a gift today. Together, we can create a world where everyone has access to the ear and hearing care they need.